Hello again, welcome back everybody to another edition of the Ruhr Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and today we're going to continue our coverage for the Israeli war. Now, real quick, if you're new here, welcome. We have a bunch of new subscribers, and so I just want to say thank you for tuning in. This channel is basically a prepper channel, but I do like to cover what's going on in the world, and so that's what today's episode is going to be about. With that being said, make sure you do the fun YouTube things, hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, so that way you can be let know, hopefully, if the YouTube algorithm will let me get out all the new content that comes out, as well as the other content that I put out that's not just news. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into this because we have a lot to cover today, and I will try and do my best to make it quick. And I know when I say quick, it usually runs long. I'll try my hardest. All right, so in no particular order, the German Counterterrorism and Special Operations Unit has arrived in Cyprus. Now, in Cyprus, that's going to include the Italian, Dutch, American, and British special forces. So there's a lot of special forces in Cyprus. That's a lot of units. I don't like that they are releasing that to the public because Cyprus, now granted, we have aircraft carriers and a lot of things there, but that's a well-played shot and takes out a lot of really special, spec ops boys. Hopefully that doesn't happen, and I'm sure they are very, very well guarded. These are some of the best and all that. So I'm sure that they're not putting them there, in a bad situation. So, but that's a lot of special military there. Moving on, Hezbollah allegedly has destroyed two of the most advanced Israeli bases for electronic warfare. Now, this equipment is valued at around $20 billion and built over the last 30 years. Now, if you haven't gone in and watched, there's a great channel called S2 Underground, and they put out a exceptional video on fifth generation warfare. And what they do in that one is they go through first, second, third, all the way up to fifth generation warfare, and they give you examples and definitions and all that. It's a little long video, but it's definitely worth checking out. But the reason why this is important is because we're in that fourth/fifth generation warfare, and electronic warfare and cyber and everything all comes into it hand in hand. And so when they take out their basically cyber bases, it really hampers their ability to counter cyber warfare. So this could potentially be a big deal. Moving on, Russia has reportedly given permission to the Iranians for any Iranian flights to use the airbase in western Syria, which Russia is over there by, to deliver weapons. Now, remember, they're probably doing this because Israel has gone after the airports of Aleppo and Damascus. So Russia's coming in going, hey, just use our airbase. So that's a big deal. Moving on, there is reports, and we will find out later this week if this is true, but there is reports that about 12,000 plus U.S. Navy and Marines are expected to be deployed sometime mid this week. Now, the reason why I did this and not waited until it was true is because they are specific in he is either already there or is going to be joining this 12,000, which is Lieutenant General James Glenn. He is the ex-commander of the Marine Special Forces. So they got very specific. Now, apparently, there's some other top brass advisors that's either, again, already there or is going to be joining these 12,000. And these 12,000 are already or is on top of who is already over there. These are people that are home on the U.S. right now that's going to leave the U.S. and go over there. So if this 12,000 is true, to go over to the Mediterranean area, that puts us somewhere in the 14 to 18,000 troops over there. That's a big buildup. And so hopefully it's posturing. Hopefully it's a flex of muscle, a show of force. But when you start looking and they tell you, they put the blinders over your eyes and they go, we are not at war. We're just going to send our biggest aircraft carrier and we're going to send a backup aircraft carrier and we're going to send 12,000 units and we're going to send X special forces and and bombers and fighters. No, but we're not at war. It's okay. Just relax, go about your normal day, watch football, go get your hair done. Nothing to see here. Okay. For me, these are big, major red flags of something's not right. And a side note, which for me, I perked up a little bit, but Biden was in a uh, speech about the economy. And at the very end of his speech, he got interrupted and said, "Excuse me, I need to go to the Situation Room to deal with an urgent matter." And so he kind of got called or whisked away to the Situation Room. So that's going to be interesting. There's also some rumors about who he met with and some other different things. It could be that, and we'll get into it 1 second. Let me say this and then we'll bounce back. All the hospitals are reportedly out of fuel in Gaza. Now, that whole call to the Situation Room might be because there is talks that Hamas might be releasing 50 of the hostages. Now, they released 2 confirmed before, but now this is 50. You don't release 50 unless you're getting something major out of it. Could this be the call to the Situation Room in order to be in the conversation for a fuel deal? You're out of fuel, you need fuel, give us 50 people and we will send X amount of fuel. Could it be? We will wait and see. My guess, that's what I'm seeing. Moving on, Pakistan yesterday tested a 2,200 kilometer range ballistic missile. Now, that is capable of carrying conventional and nuclear warheads. Remember, Pakistan is a nuclear country. Pakistan is not happy right now with Israel, so they're flexing their muscles as well. So it's something to keep an eye on. Next, there is a DHS report that has come out today that Hamas and Hezbollah terrorists could already be in the United States. Now, I know a bunch of you are going, duh, okay? And I get it. The way the border has been, the way that things have been going on in the past couple of years and whatnot. I think they said the numbers came out on Saturday, I believe, that there was more apprehensions, I'm saying more encounters at the southern border for last month than since they've started keeping record of it. And that has been broken how many times this year? So, there's definitely a border problem. And so, yes, could there have be sleeper cells in here before? I'm pretty sure there probably was. Are they adding to it now? More than likely, yes. I can't prove it, but it probably is. And then I'm going to end on this one, and then I have something I want to share. So there is rumors of the USS Gerald Ford moving away from Israel and more towards Cyprus. Now, why would that be? This is what I wanted to get into as a little thought exercise. Kind of what I started with, that you put all these special forces guys on this little island of Cyprus. So we are moving a ton of people and a ton of assets in one area. Why has Israel not started their ground? It's been said in the news over and over. Mainstream's pushing it. Any day now, it's going to happen. It's going to happen tonight. It's going to happen the next 24, 48 hours. It's imminent. It's going to happen. So why hasn't it happened? Now, you can start speculating. The U.S. hasn't given a green light because they're trying for more time for hostages. U.S. hasn't given the green light because they're waiting for more military backup. Israel doesn't have the capability to do a proper ground siege. Israel can't do it because it'll split up their forces, because Hamas will come, or Hezbollah will come in from the north if they go after Hamas in the south. There's too many H's in this one. So you can surmise all you want. I was listening to a podcast last night, and for the life of me, I can't remember who it was. I listen to so many. I need to start writing these down. So I take notes, obviously. But anyway, this guy was asking the question about why hasn't it come in, and the guy on the other side of the round table said, "We'll let him." And I'm sitting here going, "Wait, what?" And I kind of perked up, like, "What do you mean, just let him?" And he goes, "Have you not seen all the Iranian and all the different calls for, the jihad and different things? They're all coming in, and they're all coming in, and they're coming, from all these different places, and they're coming in, but they're all coming into one spot. If you have an enemy, why wouldn't you wait and get them all in one spot and then just take it out real quick?" And I was like, "Hello, never thought about that. That's, it's an obvious thing." Now, is that one of the things that we were doing? That's, we were kind of bunching up ours, and so now we're moving in different directions. One of our warships, frigates, I'm not a Navy guy. I don't know. I'm sorry. But it was supposedly here, and it's supposed to head over here, but it decided not to because this guy's got this one and moved here and then intercepted. And there's things bouncing all over the place. We're not putting people over here and just leaving them. The boats are constantly moving, the airplanes are constantly moving. Um, it's one of those ones where for Hezbollah and all those, they're coming right up to the border, basically in one spot. And so I'm wondering if he doesn't have a good grip and a good handle of what's actually happening. Are they wanting them to do that for that particular reason? You keep doing all these, coming out speeches and different things. We're getting close. Oh, I've given them the light. We're just waiting on one more thing. It's going to happen anytime. And they keep posturing, or they send a small unit in to do some stuff and bring them back out. So that way, oh, look, we almost did. We're getting ready. We're just testing things out. So that way, more and more come into that kill box zone. So it's going to be very interesting over the next couple of days. Now, one of the things, I want to say it's John Kirby that said this, but he came out on a statement and said Israel and Palestine cannot return back to the status quo. And I agree with that 100%. If anybody, Russia, China, US, Qatar, South Africa, whoever, somebody comes in with a ceasefire, it's not going to work. It won't probably even last a couple of days. I'd be surprised if it lasts a couple of hours. There's too much going on, and there's too much bloodshed. It's too big a news. It's too worldwide spread. Something major has to happen. And it's going to be when one side or the other just takes a devastating blow that it basically all just kind of fizzles out. Right now, there's too many people that's fired up. There's too many weapons involved. There's too much money involved. There's too much publicity installed. There's too much. Okay, and until all that's calms, it's not going back to the status quo, which is what he said in the begin with. So if you look at everything that's going on, you've got all the different ammo stuff going on between the ammo. Not Hornaday, the one factory that kind of blew up or caught fire or whatever. I think it blew up. And then you have the other manufacturer that said that they are only doing military orders. They're not doing anything commercial to the public. And then you have the Czech Republic bought out a bunch of the ammo and gun manufacturing companies. You have all sorts of different things coming out about the supply chain and food and prices going up and all that. My point with all this, if you have the money and you have the capabilities, you might want to start. Pick one item in each aspect. Pick water, pick ammo, go pick 5.56 or 9 or something, and go to your store and see, is it available? Is it still there? Is the price gone way up? You know, has it jumped $4, you know, for the same box that you could have got a week ago? Start looking into this. You know, me going to the store, I've noticed, at least in my area, that 556, it's still available, just not as available. There's a lot to where the rack used to be, even online, it's sold out. So there's definitely something to this. Could it come to the point that it's completely sold out, and if you don't get it now, you're not going to get it? I don't know. But that's what the whole point of being prepared is all about, is so that way you get your stuff and you get your supplies and everything that you need now while it's still there. So that way when the time comes and everybody runs to go get it because they waited too long, it's not there. You already have it. The whole point of all this behind me is that when everybody runs to go get it, I already have it. It's there for me to use whenever I need it. So all the different gauze and all the different, you know, over-the-counter meds and the way that I've got rope and plastic and all this, I already have it. You know, I don't have to run to the store when the, you know, balloon goes up, you know. So if you have the means, please go out and grab a couple extra things. Do not go into debt. Don't run up your credit card by any means. Don't do it. But if you have the means, top your propane, top off your fuel, go get extra water, get an extra water filter, go grab another couple, you know, cans of some stuff. I just happen to be in my pantry, so just do what you guys can. I'm telling you, something just does not sit right with everything that's going on, and it just comes down to the point that if